Today I want to show you how to talk dirty to a guy. And the first thing you have to understand if you want to talk dirty to a guy is that talking dirty is not about using dirty words. This is the biggest misconception that people have when it comes to dirty talk. It's a misconception that men have and that women have too. If you believe that you just have to use all these kinds of words that I can't say right now because then I get banned, if you think that you have to do that in order to talk dirty to a guy, then you're on the wrong path. Instead, you can talk dirty to a guy by saying innocent things. You can talk dirty to a guy without using explicit language. It all depends on how you say it and not on what you say. You can say the most innocent thing to him, but if you say it in a seductive way, if you say it in a way to turn him on, then you're doing it right. And if you combine this way of saying it with the secrets that you discover if you click on the link in the description, and if you find out how you can become his secret obsession, then he's already obsessed with you, and then talking dirty to him will be so easy, even if you don't use any explicit language at all, because you say, hey, I want to talk dirty to my guy, but I don't really use these kind of words all the time. How can I do it without it? I will show you how to do it without it, and if you click on the link in the description, you will become his secret obsession, and then you just have to use a little bit of dirty talk, and he will be all over you, I promise you that. And one simple way you can talk dirty to a guy is to say his name in a seductive way. We human beings, we love to hear our own name. And if you can say his name in a seductive way, with a seductive voice, with a very soft and gentle voice, maybe you even want to whisper it in his ear. If you can do that, that's already a dirty talk. You don't even need to use all these explicit words. You just need to say his name in a seductive way. And if you also look at him in a way that say, I want to undress you, I want to get down and dirty with you, then he will respond to it. And when it comes to talking dirty with a guy over text, you can simply send him a message in which you describe what you want to do with him when you get home. If you do this, especially when he's at work, when he's in a meeting, when he has to concentrate on some boring task, something in an Excel sheet or something like that, and you then send him a text with, I can't wait till you're home, I want to do X or Y with you. Or you might not even want to describe it explicitly. Maybe you just want to say, I have a surprise for you. I want to do something special with you. He will be so excited about it and he will be so turned on. And whisper, you can do everything you want with me, in his ear. If you whisper that in his ear, of course, only if you also want him to do everything that he wants to do. Talking dirty should always be based on consent. So if you want him to do everything he wants to do with you, if you want to get down and dirty, if you want to get wild in the bedroom, just whisper in his ear, you can do everything you want with me. And he will be yours because the fantasies in his mind will go absolutely crazy. And you will make him so turned on. And find out what he's totally into. And then tell him that this is exactly what you want to do with him. Let's say your guy has a certain fetish. He's really into something in the bedroom. And you then tell him, hey, let's do this together. Let's experiment. Let's try this out. And let him know what you're into. And then tell him that you want him to do it with you. And this is especially effective because men love it. And I mean absolutely love it. When a woman shares their fantasies with us, because most women are too afraid that they will get judged and that's why they don't do it. But if you're dating a confident man, he will appreciate you for your honesty, for your authenticity, and for your trust that you put in him, because that's a proof that you trust him if you share these things with him. And if you then tell him, hey, I want to do this with you, then he'll want to do it with you. I guarantee that. And let him know that you're a bad girl and that you need to be punished. This is also a great way of talking dirty to a guy. If you let him know, hey, I'm such a bad girl, come on, punish me. And the strength, or let's say the magnitude of the punishment always depends on your consent, on his consent, and also on whether or not you want it rough or you want it more soft. It all depends, but that's something that you can then figure out with the guy you want to seduce. And tell him that you want him to please you in any possible way he can think of. This is something that men absolutely love. There's this misconception that men only care about their own pleasure, but that's not true. I know it from my own experience because I care about the pleasure of my girlfriend. I want to please her in the bedroom. I want to make sure that she has a good time. And I talk to a lot of other men about this, and they see it the same way. In fact, A lot of men buy products and read books that are specifically about how they can please a woman. So this idea that men only care about their own pleasure, that might be true for some idiots out there, but the vast majority of men, at least the men that I know, they care about the pleasure of the woman they are with. And if you tell him that you want him to please you in any possible way he can think of, then he will get creative. And then you will experience a surprise in the bedroom. And tell him what you would do with him if you weren't surrounded by people right now. This is also a great way to talk dirty to a guy, especially when you're out in a social environment, in a social circle. Especially when you're with your parents, it's even better. I mean, it's already great when you're with friends, but when you are out with your parents or with his parents, and you then whisper in his ear, if you knew what I would do with you if we weren't here right now. Oh boy, his mind and his down under will be very, very excited. Another great thing you can do is to ask him about his dirtiest fantasy, about what he always wanted to do but he's never done it before. And if he then tells you, take him by the hand to your bedroom and fulfill this fantasy for him. And of course you can also use this technique in a different way by telling him what you always wanted to try, and then again lead him to the bedroom if he sounds excited. It can be so easy to initiate an amazing seduction and to have fun in the process and to be playful and creative and to just use dirty talk to just make your relationship so much better and so more exciting. And let him know that you are addicted to him and that he's driving you crazy. The more you communicate that you are turned on by him, that he's attractive to you, that you want him, that you desire him, the more he will desire you, because the more confident he will get. And if you click on the link in the description and you find out everything about the best product to make any man obsessed with you, then you will become his secret obsession. And then he'll want you, desire you, and he will do everything with you that you want him to do with you. And tell him how much you enjoyed the last time you made love and that you can't wait for the next time. And you can also do that right after you made love. If you just let him know that you really enjoyed it, this boosts his confidence, it boosts his ego, and he will be way more likely to initiate the bing bada boom boom in the bedroom again. And if you're here because you want to talk dirty to a guy, I'm sure you also want the bing bada boom boom in the bedroom to happen. And ask him if there's something that he always wanted to do that none of his ex-girlfriends wanted to do with him. If you want to do that, and I know that's very risky, also emotionally, because you might get a little bit jealous by thinking back to his past relationships. But if you do that, I promise you, he will be so into you, because there's always something that a guy has in mind, but he never really articulated it, because he always thought, it's kind of weird, I don't want to do that, I don't want to risk rejection. And if he then tells you and you do it with him, or even if you decide to not do it with him because it's really too crazy, but you just talk about it and you don't judge him for it, this alone can improve your relationship so much. And let him know that what he's doing feels so good. Of course, you should be honest, only if it really feels good. I mean, if he's terrible in bed, then you have to teach him. Then you shouldn't talk dirty to him and say, oh yeah, it feels so good, because that would be a lie. But if what he does really feels good, let him know. Again, this boosts his ego, this increases his confidence, and it's also good for you, because you enjoy what he's doing. And by telling him that you enjoy it, he will be motivated to do it again and again and again, and then you will have more and more pleasure. And tell him that you want to take control of him, or that you want him to take control of you. And you can do this in the kind of submissive, dominant way where you say, hey, now you take control, or the other day I take control, and you can just initiate this role play with dirty talk and speak in a very seductive and soft voice when you tell him that you don't wear any underwear. Remember what I said earlier about this idea that you communicate your desire for him when you're with your parents or when you're with friends. Imagine the following scenario, and I know it's kind of risky, and you might even say, Sebastian, oh my god, that's so terrible, I can't do that, it's so politically incorrect. As I always say, I'm not PC principal, I'm here to share these things with you that actually work. And if you do that, oh boy, I promise you, he will eat you alive once you're at home. Imagine the following scenario. You are out with your friends, or even better, let's say you visit his parents, and you're dressed all innocently. And then while you're at dinner with his parents, you find a moment where his parents are away or where you're just in the other room and you whisper in his ear, I don't wear any underwear. He won't be able to concentrate on anything what his parents say, and it will be really funny. And he will be so full of adrenaline and testosterone once you get back home. And stare at him with a smile and say that he puts naughty thoughts in your head. That's also a great way to talk dirty to a guy. If you just smile at him and you tell him what you're thinking about, you let him know that he actually puts dirty thoughts in your mind, and let him know that you want to be dominated tonight, or that you want to dominate him tonight. It all depends on whether or not you want to be the submissive woman for him, or he wants you to be the dominant woman for him. It all depends on your relationship dynamic and on your preferences. And you can also switch. One day you are the submissive, next day he's the dominant, and then you can use this to really explore each other's fantasies and to enjoy each other in an intimate way. And play with words like daddy, teacher, or all these kind of words that are a little bit naughty. Because whatever words you like to be called, or whatever words he likes to be called, you can do it. There are no boundaries, there are no limits. For example, one woman who I dated in the past, while I was working as a university teacher, she loved to call me teacher. And this turned her on. That was the dirty talk that she really wanted. And maybe you like other words. I mean, some women think that calling a guy daddy is really weird and kind of creepy. And then there are other women I talk to who say it's amazing and it really turns them on. I don't know what kind of woman you are, but you can use the words that turn you on and the words that turn him on. Just be a little bit creative and then allow yourself to have fun. And of course, you can always tell him how much you love to please him, or how much you love it when he pleases you. Because when you tell him that you actually enjoy pleasing him, he will be so happy and turned on at the same time. And if you also tell him that you love it when he pleases you, then he knows that he's doing something right. And if you want to do everything right, and you want me to help you with your dating life, you want me to help you to get the guy of your dreams, you want me to help you to improve your relationship, not just with dirty talk, but on so many different levels, then you can check out the link in the description and inquire for your first Skype coaching session with me. I'm looking forward to get to know you, to coach you, and to help you to take your dating life to the next level. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell, so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.